Open your to-do list right now and count how many items are sitting there from last week. Most people expect that list to create clarity, but it often creates background panic. You scan 10 priorities at once, feel immediate pressure, then switch to whatever looks easiest. By evening, you are exhausted and still feel behind. That pattern is not a character flaw. It is a predictable behavior loop. In this video, we will break that loop into simple parts and rebuild it so your list becomes a tool for finishing work, not a scoreboard for guilt. The first mistake is assuming this is an effort problem. Usually, it is a design problem. Traditional lists mix projects, errands, reminders, and vague intentions in one place. Your brain reads that as unfinished threat inventory. Under pressure, attention narrows and you seek fast relief, not meaningful progress. So, you answer 2 easy messages, rename a folder, clean your desktop, and call it productive. The task list looks active, but the important work stays untouched. When we treat list overload as a system issue, we stop blaming ourselves and start changing the conditions that shape behavior. Here is the overload loop in plain language. First comes the cue. You see too many open tasks. Then craving. You want immediate relief from that tension. Then action. You bounce to easy tasks that feel finishable. Then reward. Brief calm, because you checked something off. The delayed cost arrives later when your core work is still unfinished and now more urgent. Because relief comes quickly and consequences arrive late, the loop repeats. Once you can name these steps, you gain leverage. The goal is not to make a perfect list. The goal is to make the first right action so obvious that relief-seeking does not hijack your day. Let us isolate the cue. The cue is not the whole project. The cue is the instant you look at the list and feel mental friction. Maybe there are 20 items. Maybe priorities are unclear. Maybe every item sounds like a big commitment. That exact moment decides the rest of your session. If you do not label it, your brain treats friction as a stop signal. If you do label it, you convert panic into data. A useful line is simple. Too many options, choose one lane. That sentence interrupts autopilot and buys enough space to act intentionally. Next is craving. In this loop, craving is rarely excitement. It is usually the wish to feel less pressure right now. That is why tiny, low-value tasks become attractive. They are quick, emotional painkillers. You are not choosing them because they matter most. You are choosing them because they reduce discomfort fast. This reframe matters because it changes the fix. You do not need superhuman motivation. You need a safer relief path that still moves real work forward. When craving appears, we give it a tiny progress action instead of a random distraction action. Then comes action. Task hopping. You jump between tabs, messages, docs, and errands, always active, rarely advancing. Task hopping feels productive because movement is visible, but context switching carries heavy cognitive tax. Every switch restarts orientation and drains working memory. After enough switches, deep work feels even harder, which pushes you toward more switching. That is the trap. The test is straightforward. Did this action reduce uncertainty on the main outcome? If not, it was likely loop behavior. We are not trying to remove all small tasks. We are preventing them from replacing the task that actually matters. Now, reward and cost. The reward of easy task completion is immediate. You get a check mark and a short dopamine bump. The cost is delayed. Major work remains open, deadlines tighten, and stress compounds later. This timing mismatch explains why smart people repeat the pattern even when they understand it. The brain updates behavior from immediate outcomes first. So we must reshape immediate outcomes. Make starting high-value work feel doable right away and make escape behaviors slightly harder. Small changes in reward timing create big differences in consistency over a week. Move 1. Outcome-first planning. Do not start the day with a giant list. Start with 3 outcomes that would make today a win. Outcomes are concrete deliverables, not activity labels. For example, not work on proposal, but send draft section 1. Not prep slides, but finalize opening 3 slides. When outcomes are explicit, your brain no longer negotiates against fog. Keep your master list for storage, but create a daily execution list with only a few outcome lines. This reduces cognitive load and gives your attention a single lane. Move 2. Define the first visible action for each outcome. The brain resists vague tasks, not specific starts. Instead of write report, define open template and draft first paragraph. Instead of plan workout, define put shoes by door and start 10-minute walk timer. First actions should be physically obvious and finishable in under 2 minutes. Why so small? Because small starts beat emotional friction. Once started, continuation is far easier than initiation. You are engineering momentum, not proving willpower. If a task feels heavy, your first action is still too vague. Move 3. Timebox focus and use a parking lot list. Pick one outcome, run a focused block for 25 to 40 minutes, and park unrelated thoughts in a side list instead of switching tasks. Parking captures ideas without breaking focus. After the block, you can process that list deliberately. This single habit protects deep work from impulse detours. Time boxes also lower resistance because the commitment has an endpoint. You are not promising endless effort. You are committing to one bounded session. Bounded commitments are easier to start and easier to repeat. Move 4. Install a daily shutdown rule. At the end of the day, spend 5 minutes closing the loop. Mark done items, move unfinished outcomes intentionally, and define tomorrow's first visible action before you stop. This prevents the morning overload cue from returning full force. Without shutdown, every day starts with decision fog. With shutdown, you start with a prepared runway. The rule is simple. Never end a workday with a blank next step. That one decision at night removes dozens of micro-decisions in the morning. Now combine these moves into a 15-minute morning triage routine. Minute 1 to 3, review your 3 outcomes. Minute 4 to 7, assign first visible actions. Minute 8 to 10, pick your first time box and remove one distraction source. Minute 11 to 15, start the first action immediately. The routine works because it converts planning into action in one pass. No endless reorganizing, no color-coding marathon, just enough structure to enter motion. Repeat this for 1 week and watch how quickly list anxiety drops when starts become automatic. Environment design makes this stick. Keep one capture inbox for new tasks so they do not interrupt execution. Keep the daily list physically visible and short. Hide or close tools that invite random switching during focus blocks. Put your first action where your eyes land first, on the top of the page or pinned on screen. Good systems reduce choices at the moment of friction. If everything is equally visible, attention gets scattered. If the right action is most visible, behavior follows. Design is often stronger than motivation. Some days will still go sideways, so you need a reset rule. When task hopping wins, run this quick review. What was the cue? What relief action did I take? And what one constraint was missing? Then adjust one variable for tomorrow. Maybe fewer outcomes, shorter time box, or phone outside the room. Do not rebuild the entire system in frustration. Small targeted edits beat dramatic overhauls. Consistency comes from fast recovery, not perfect streaks. The goal is to shorten the distance between drift and reset. Quick recap. Endless lists are usually a behavior loop, not a personal failure. The loop is overload cue, relief craving, task hopping action, and delayed stress cost. Break it with 4 moves, 3 daily outcomes, 1 first visible action per outcome, time-boxed focus with a parking list, and a nightly shutdown rule. Then run the 15-minute triage routine each morning so action starts early. Choose one delayed task today and apply this system once. Small wins today will change how tomorrow feels. If you want the next video, we can break down how to protect focus when notifications keep pulling your attention.